Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you guys have been having a good, extraordinary raid week so far. As a list on this update here, but Niantic has announced a legendary return, and is going to be featuring Kyogre, Groudon, and Cresselia. So Cresselia is making a return to raids. This is actually the second time we're having Cresselia in raids, and how many times now have we had Kyogre and Groudon in raids, honestly? Like, this is like the umpteenth time we've seen these two. Though this will be it would be, I'm a little more excited about Kyogre than Groudon, because with Kyogre, it'll be a new challenge, and just to get some stuff done. Maybe I might do a couple just to get some more candy, but other than that, not really a big deal. But the main thing we're going to talk about for sure is Cresselia. So we're going to read about this, and then we're going to go over Cresselia, and then go into some counters against Cresselia here. Because Cresselia, for those of you who are going for your first Cresselia, we're going to be going into a full depth about Cresselia. For those who want to see the Kyogre and Groudon guides, I'm going to go ahead and I'll link those videos in the description below, because I'm pretty sure I went over those. I know I did Groudon. I'm not too sure if I did Kyogre actually. But if you guys want me to do a guide on Kyogre, I'll definitely make one. But just to keep it simple, against Kyogre, ideally you want your electric types for sure. But more about that, if you guys want me to do a guide on Kyogre, I'll go ahead and make one. But anyways, we're going to be covering Cresselia today, so let's go ahead, but let's read this first. So, trainers, we hope you're enjoying the extraordinary raid week so far. We're excited to announce the next 3 legendary Pokemon you can look forward to seeing in 5-star raid battles. Expect to see some legendary Pokemon returned, riled up, and ready to battle. So it looks like we're not going to be getting Mesprit or Uxie. We're not going to get the rotation there, which kind of sucks, because it would have been cool to get Mesprit and Uxie over here. But Azelf was pretty fun. I think we over here in America actually got the best out of the 3, considering if you guys have seen my guide on these, Azelf is the strongest out of the 3. Mesprit is kind of in between, and then Uxie is more of the defensive side. Though Uxie is pretty good in PvP, which I guess you guys will see that soon. We'll see that soon. A little spoiler alert: I was lucky enough to get a Uxie, 2 Uxies actually in trade for one of my friends who actually got to go to Asia. So he did a couple of Uxies, and he got some for me. So huge shout out to him for that. So we'll go ahead and we'll do some PvP soon, and I'm going to be showcasing Uxie in both the Great League and the Ultra League. So just to let you guys know. So anyways, let's continue here. So, Cresselia. This Psychic-type legendary Pokemon is set to represent the Crescent Moon, but don't let its graceful exterior lure you during battle. Psychic-type Pokemon are weak against Bug, Ghost, and Dark types, so be sure to have those ready. So, Cresselia is going to be around from May 27th at 1 p.m. to Tuesday, June 18th. So, we're going to be having a full month of Cresselia, which, in my opinion, that kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's fine, because this means we have plenty of time to get this thing for sure. And on top of that, we may be able to get a shiny Cresselia out of this as well. So the main thing with this is to get that shiny Cresselia, and then on top of that, we'll be able to. I'm going to be able to do some new challenges against Cresselia, which will be fun. We'll do some challenges for sure against that, which is going to be pretty fun. So I can't wait for that. So then it's going to go ahead and go into Kyogre. So the Sea Basin Pokemon Kyogre is said to have wielded the seas and waged battle with Groudon. This water-type Pokemon is weak against grass and electric type. Can you earn this powerful creature's trust and convince it to battle alongside you? I mean, I have a full squad of Kyogre, but I actually wouldn't mind one more good one to finish my Kyogre team completely, so I guess there's that. So, Kyogre is going to be in raids from Tuesday, June 18th, upon Cresselia leaving, at 1 p.m. to Thursday, June 27th, at 1 p.m. So Cresselia takes off on June 18th, and then as soon as June 18th takes off, we're going to have Kyogre coming into race. So, actually, what I'll do is, on the day before Kyogre comes due, I'll make a guide on Kyogre then. Because this is going to be kind of an updated guide on Kyogre for the most part. So, the reason why we're doing Cresselia is because Cresselia is coming first, before Kyogre and Groudon. So, just so you guys get an idea. And, of course, you do have a chance to get a shiny Kyogre as well. So, yeah, there's that. So, and then finally we have Groudon. Groudon coming back for the umpteenth time. But Groudon is said to have dueled titanically with Kyogre before falling into a deep slumber. It's a ground type, so trainers, this means water, grass, and ice types are your best bets for defeating this powerful opponent. So Groudon is going to be from June 27th upon Kyogre leaving to Wednesday, July 10th. So Groudon's going to be lasting a little bit longer. So that kind of, I don't know. I mean, that means I can take a break. I can take it easy from the tier 5 raids because once Groudon comes through. Ideally, I'm going to be doing majorly Cresselia and Kyogre, because Kyogre is always never a bad Pokemon to invest in. It is actually the best Water-type Pokemon in the game, so Kyogre is never a bad option. Groudon is okay, but not really the most funnest raid to do. I mean, yes, for those of you, if you don't have shiny Groudon or Kyogre, well, there you go. And yeah, so let's go ahead and continue here. This is your chance to catch Kyogre, Groudon, and Cresselia. It'll be tough, but we have faith in you, trainers. Legendary Pokemon only appear when the time is right. This must be fate. Are you ready to be a battle legend? Show us what you got. Challenge accepted. Yeah, they definitely overhyped this for sure. That I can tell you for sure. But anyways, guys, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and hop on GoHub, and we're gonna go ahead and go over Cresselia, because they're basically doing it in order. So we're gonna have Cresselia first, followed by Kyogre, and then Groudon. So we're gonna go over Cresselia in this video, and then down the road I will make a raid guide talking about Kyogre, and then Groudon. Well, if you guys want to see the Groudon raid guide, I'll have that in the description below. So be sure to check it out, because we did just have Groudon not just recently, with their Earth Day. So Groudon hasn't been around for that long. But Groudon's gonna be coming back. So just so you guys are aware. So, yeah. So, without further ado, let's go on GoHub and take a look at Cresselia. So, I'll see you there. Alright, guys. So, here we are. We are here with the beautiful, delicate Cresselia here, who is, in fact, a monster in PvP. So, let's go ahead and go over Cresselia here. So, a 100% maxes out at 2,857. Attack is 152, defense is 258, and stamina is 260. So, Cresselia has a pretty high HP stat and pretty good defense, so it's actually one of the best Pokemon in the Ultra League, and also really good in the Great League. I still need to get a Cresselia for the Great League, so this will actually be a good time to actually do some Cresselia raids, because I still need a Cresselia for the Great League, so I still have to work on that for sure. So let's go ahead and go over the counters here. So we're gonna go over on IVs once we get to the raid guide. So we'll go over that in just a second. But Cresselia is weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost, resisting Fighting and Psychic. So just like Azelf, it's gonna be weak just the same thing as well. But let's take a look at the moves for Cresselia. So Cresselia definitely has some cool stuff working for her. So it has Psycho Cut and Confusion for fast moves. Psycho Cut is fantastic in PvP. I think Confusion is also pretty good as well. And then charge moves, it has Future Sight, Moonblast, and Aurora Beam. So pretty cool moves there overall. Cresselia is not the most hard-hitting Pokemon. With Confusion, it'll still do a decent amount, but I think Cresselia is going to be a fun challenge. I cannot wait. It's pretty tanky. So I wanted to actually, real quick, before we go to the guide, I wanted to actually pull up Uxie, and then we could do a quick comparison between both Cresselia and Uxie. So 258 defense on Cresselia is not that bad, and then 260 on HP. So here's Uxie. So Uxie has a little bit more defense than Cresselia does, but Uxie has much less stamina. So they're both pretty tanky, but Uxie has a bit more defense than Cresselia. So Cresselia is going to be slightly easier to take out than Uxie, but it's still going to be pretty hard. It's still going to be a pretty rough challenge if you guys don't have the right counters to take this one down. But for the most part, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be pretty exciting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and prepare for this Pokemon, because this is actually Cresselia's second time in raids, because the first time we had it in raids, I actually don't remember precisely when we had Cresselia in raids, but I can definitely tell you it's going to be in raids. This is the second time it's going to be in raids. And not to mention, it's also going to be around with this shiny variant too. As you guys see here, let's take a look at the shiny variant, because this shiny looks pretty cool. Oh, it downloaded for me. Okay, well, I actually didn't mean to do that, but it's okay. But there you go. That's the shiny Cresselia, and it looks really cool. I like this color a lot. It's like a purplish with the green thing stuff there. It looks beautiful. I think this is a majestic legendary, and I will love to get a shiny for PvP for sure, for both Great and Ultra, because this one is beautiful. and it's extremely good in PvP as well. Not great, not good in raids, but it's fantastic in. It's definitely fantastic in PvP for sure. I know because I've used Cresselia before in the Ultra League, and it does extremely well. I like it a lot. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go into the raid guide, and let's go ahead and get some counters ready to go, so we can take on this Pokemon. Alright guys, so before I had continued this part, I had to double check to make sure the numbers were correct, and it turns out that the numbers are indeed correct, so we can go ahead and go on this guide, so we can go ahead and talk about Cresselia here, and go over some counters to how to take this Pokemon down. So, Cresselia is going to be tier 5, has a CP of 33,794, so pretty low, but it also means it's extremely tanky, so it's pretty, there you go. And then if we're looking for a 100% IV Cresselia, you're going to be looking for 1633, and that's without a weather boost. Otherwise, if it happens to be weather boosted, you're going to be looking for 2041. Oh, just a little notification here. I'm actually one of the lucky ones. When Cresselia was out, I actually was able to. I did in fact get a 100% IV Cresselia, so I have that. Excuse me. So. But yeah, 1633 is the 100% IV for Cresselia, so do keep that in mind. If you see a 1633, definitely want to catch that because it is a 100%. So, there you go. Those are the ways it could be taken out for sure. So, alright, so here we go. Counters. So, once more, Cresselia is weak to Ghost, Dark, and Bug. And before we go over the counters, let's take a look at the moves one more time so we can refresh our memories here. Fast moves, it gets Psycho Cut and Confusion. Confusion is going to be doing a pretty considerable amount of damage. Psycho Cut is going to be doing very little. Future Sight will be really it does very little to the dark types, especially considering that it doesn't have high attacks. So basically, if you're in with T-Tar against Future Sight, then you're going to pretty much be surviving the whole fight. So just to let you guys know on that front. Moonblast, on the other hand, is going to do a decent amount of damage to Tyranitar, but considering that Cresselia doesn't have the highest attack, means that you're still, well, at least with Tyranitar, that is, it's still gonna be doing a considerable amount of damage. Like, Moonblast will be a little troublesome for T-Tar, but if it's paired with Psycho Cut, I think you'll be fine, because Tyranitar will be able to survive. I'm pretty sure, if anything, Tyranitar should be able to take at least 2 Moonblasts before the third one takes it out, because in that scenario, Psycho Cut is doing very little damage because Tyranitar takes 50% less from the Psychic type moves, being a Dark type. So, Moonblast will probably do like around maybe 40-45%, and then it'll probably take it like at least 2-3 Moonblasts to take out Tyranitar. Aurora Beam is not that bad. So, it's really not the easy. It is a bit more spammy than the other moves. Aurora Beam is a 2-bar move, but it doesn't do the most consistent damage. And again, going into the fact that Cresselia does not have the highest attack at all, it's super low. So Aurora Beam will be pretty. It's actually not. It's not the worst move actually. The only problem is that if it constantly comes out constantly. So, but other than that, that's the idea. So now let's go ahead and go over some counters here. So first off, we have Origin Form Giratina once again coming through against Cresselia. It definitely with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. Giratina O is definitely going to be one of the best Pokemon to use against Cresselia. Barring the fact that if Cresselia does happen to carry the Moonblast, Giratina O will be weak to it, being a Dragon type. Moonblast or Aurora Beam. But I think regardless of that, Giratina will still be okay. Because, not to mention, because Giratina O has some pretty good attack, and it does have some high stamina. And being able, and again, just going back to what I said, it's basically, Cresselia has low attack, so you'll be able to take at least a couple of hits before you go down. And comparing this to Gengar, which we're going to talk about Gengar in a second because it is on this list, it definitely has more TDO, meaning it's going to be able to survive a lot longer than Gengar, so, for the most part. But, so yeah, just keep in mind, Giratina O is not bad. I think personally, even if Cresselia did have Moonblast or Aurora Beam, I don't think that's the worst. Considering now that they fixed the DOS glitch, you don't have to really worry too much about taking so much damage. You could probably get away with dodging at least one Moonblast and then still be okay to be able to survive another set of hits. So Giratina will definitely survive quite long. So I think it's a good choice for sure. Next up, we're going to talk about is Mewtwo with Confusion Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is the reason why Mewtwo is recommended here, because it does carry Shadow Ball, which is super effective on Cresselia. If you don't have Mewtwo with Shadow Ball, then you're gonna have to ignore this one, because all of Mewtwo's other moves are not going to be as effective on Cresselia, because Cresselia is a Psychic type, and Shadow Ball. Well, keep in mind Shadow Ball is Legacy, so that's why don't bother TMing it now, because if you do, you're not gonna get it. So if you don't have Shadow Ball, there are other options you can use. So just stay away from Mewtwo, I will say. So yeah. Keep that in mind. Next up, we're going to talk about is Gengar. It is the fastest. It does the most damage against Cresselia. So, Shadow Claw, Lick, and Shadow Ball are the moves you want for your Gengar. Again, pairing, like, it actually does have more damage output DPS than Giratina. The only thing that holds it back is the fact that it is a bit of a glass cannon. But aside from that, Gengar is still a very good choice. And I'm still going to personally be using a full team of Gengars myself, because Gengar is a fantastic ghost type. If you don't have Shadow Claw or Lick, an alternative you can use is Sucker Punch or Hex as well. You can use either of those two moves. That's fine. It's not going to be performing as well as Shadow Claw or Lick, but it's still going to do fairly good for the most part. So there you go. So now let's go into some other counters here. We have we have Tyranitar with Bite and Crunch coming through. It's not the most damaging Pokemon on this list, but it is the one that's going to be taking the least amount of damage for the most part. Even if the Cresselia does have Moonblast, which is the only move that Tyranitar really has to worry about. Again, if the Moonblast is paired with Psycho Cut, then it's not going to be the worst thing in the world to deal with, because Tyranitar will be able to still at least survive quite a while before Moonblast takes it out. I would imagine it will take at least a good 3 Moonblasts to take out Tyranitar. 4 if you happen to dodge. So it's not that bad. It's definitely a pretty good choice, and I would recommend it here. So next up we have is Weavile here with Feint Attack and Foul Play. Weavile is a new addition. Is one of the new Pokemon that can counteract that you have here against Cresselia. It is a bit of a glass cannon, and unlike Tyranitar, if Cresselia does have Moonblast, Weavile is going to take a lot more damage, considering it is a glass cannon. But Cresselia will do. I keep saying Cresselia, but Weavile will do really well against Future Sight, being a Dark type, and also it does resist the Aurora Beam being part Ice, so that's pretty handy. So Weavile is definitely not a bad choice for sure. It definitely is not a bad choice at all, considering it does resist two or three Cresselia's moves, being the Future Sight, taking reduced damage from that, and the Aurora Beam. So good choice indeed. We have Houndoom with Snarl and Foul Play. I think Houndoom is a great choice against Cresselia as well. If you don't have the other top contenders, Houndoom is a fantastic Pokemon. It takes 50% less it takes reduced damage from Future Sight, being a Dark type. It resists the Aurora Beam, and it's neutral to Moonblast. So definitely a Pokemon you definitely may want to consider adding to your team if you don't have any other top contenders. So Houndoom is definitely not a bad choice whatsoever. And then other options you have is Pinsir with Fury Cutter and X-Scissor, alongside Scizor with Fury Cutter X-Scissor. Especially if they happen to have a Rain Boost, then Pinsir and Scizor will do pretty well, in addition to Yanmega. So just to keep that in mind. So yeah. So those are some other good counters you can use. And then other Pokemon they recommend here is Honchkrow with Snarl Dark Pulse. It takes 50% less from Future Sight. Neutral to... Actually, no. It actually is weak to Moonblast and Aurora Beam, being a flying type and Dark type pretty much. So Honchkrow is not really a good choice unless Cresselia has the Future Sight. So then we have Absol, which is weak to Moonblast, but can do well against the Future Sight and is neutral to Aurora Beam. So, and then we also have Sharpedo with Bite and Crunch. It's definitely a bit of a glass cannon, so it's going to die rather quickly. So I will only recommend Sharpedo if you happen to be facing Future Sight. I think it'll also do well against Aurora Beam as well. And then some other Pokemon that you also use is, of course, you have Yanmega, which is not bad, I think. Especially in rain, Yanmega is not bad. You just have to watch out for Aurora Beam. There's a few Pokemon you can use for sure. But these are some of the top Pokemon you definitely want to use against Cresselia. So, yeah. There you have it, guys. That is my guide for Cresselia. I will have a Kyogre raid guide coming once Kyogre comes close. So stay tuned for that. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these 3 legendary Pokemon coming back to raids. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's pretty cool? Are you excited for Shiny Cresselia? Because I know I am. And I hope this will also be a good chance for me to get a Cresselia for the Great League, because I still need one. So yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna end this video. Thank you guys for watching. And be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. And I'm gonna have some more challenges coming soon. So with that, this is Ladios NYC signing out.